welcome to Brunch, a taste of Tobago. I am your host, JW Moore, aka J Soul, and I will be kicking with you for the next 2 hours. Now, we have so much to talk about. I'm hoping that you guys are ready, that you are seated, and that you are willing to listen and learn. Remember, we are live on Tobago Updates Television, Facebook, YouTube, and of course the Amplia Network 102. Today is a special day. It is a lovely Wednesday morning on the island of Tobago. I was very privileged to be driving along this morning. I'm looking at the flora, I'm looking at the fauna, and just the natural beauty that is Tobago. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we look to our inspiring stories first. That is our good stuff segment. So I'm going to take you to a really wonderful story this morning. Trinidad and Tobago's Zarique Wilson breaks 100-meter fly record. So you guys need to check out the Newsday for that wonderful story. Zarique won his second medal of the 2023 Commonwealth Youth Games when he swam to a gold medal in the men's 100-meter butterfly final at the National Aquatic Center in Couva on Tuesday. Wilson, who took silver earlier in the meet, touched the wall with a 53.70 seconds, backed up by a vociferous crowd. He broke the previous meet record of 53.87 held by Lewis Fraser of Wales. Quite a riveting story there. Grabbing the silver medal was Nick Finch of England, 53.95, and South African Jarden Eton took bronze, 54.7. All right, we go to Labre is in the spotlight today as well. Poets wants Labre community to become aware of their history. The Labre community has been told to do better in order to become more aware of history and its influences on the path going forward. Lecturer, poet, and social activist Imo Bakari made the comment as he shared his thoughts on emancipation at the Emancipation Village and Culture Show, hosted by the Labre Emancipation Committee under the patronage of Labre MP Stephen McClashy and Brighton Recreational Ground on August 1st. So Labre is in the spotlight, guys, and we really want to check that story out and find out what they are doing historically going forward. In the Daily Express, fourth Trini to fly in zero gravity. 29-year-old Kaylin Patterson, CEO of Patterson Aerospace Systems Corporation and former space systems engineer with the United States Space Force, USAF, will become the fourth Trinidadian to fly in zero gravity when he participates in the 2023 Aurelia Horizon flight scheduled for September 22nd. Peterson's flight follows the accomplishments of Karen Braun, who became the first Trinidadian to fly in zero gravity in the 1990s, Dr. Camille Wardrop Allen in 2004, and Dr. Aaron Posard, who followed thereafter. All right, so quite a lot going on today. August 8th is International Female Orgasm Day. We're going to be talking some more on that with my next guest. Today we have so much in store for you. We have our DIY corner. Of course, you guys know that is one of my favorite segments. We also have a book club. Our sister Joel Green joins us today as well. Iron Bagel. We also have some really riveting stuff. We're talking fashion, we're talking art, we're talking culture, and you do not want to miss this. So we're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. See you guys soon.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
Summerama, real steam for the summer standard. It's a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, standard. What you have? What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like armor. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more, we got more. Standards are what you're searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beaten on quality and price. It's nice.
Are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Remember, I told you before the break we were going to be speaking on the female, how do you say, female orgasm, the female sexuality. Sometimes this topic seems to be a bit of a taboo still in our culture. But on Brunch, that is what we do. We bring the information to you. We bring a wider sense of understanding to you. Now, if you want to know a bit about my next guest, before I introduce her, take a look at this video. Today, Miss Onika Henry. And Onika is a human sexologist. Yeah, did I say it correctly?
Well, mostly I'm a clinical sexologist and sex educator, which means I focus on human sexuality, so sexual wholeness and wellness.
Right. Okay, so now that we got that introduction out of the way, we have the video and we really want you guys to take a look at it. So have a look at the video now.
So did you know that the 8th of August is International Female Orgasm Day? I bet you didn't know that one. But what I absolutely love about the idea is not just the fact that there is a day to specially celebrate the female orgasm, to celebrate the pleasure of women, but how it actually came into being. So it started in Brazil. There was a politician in Brazil who, after having learned about the different techniques of pleasure that are traditional to certain communities in Africa, he realized, he says, that for the longest time he had not paid enough attention to his wife's pleasure. He thought he had, but after having heard about how traditionally one would celebrate the pleasure of a woman, he realized that he just hadn't given his wife enough attention, or his wife's pleasure enough attention. And he decided that he had to make a gesture towards this. And he had 8th of August declared International Female Orgasm Day as an apology to his wife for not having considered her pleasure for so many years properly, and as a promise that he would now do so in the future. I think that this is a tradition that we should all be taking forward.
And that was a quite inspirational. It's riveting. You guys need to check it out. Now, my next guest, Miss Onika Henry. Now, I have been waiting to speak with Onika for a while now. I have been really privy to some of her work thus far, and it's really interesting when someone is able to take things that we consider a bit of a taboo sometimes in our society, in our culture, and really bring that to the forefront and really provide us with the pertinent information that is needed. So, Onika,
Yes.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I am loving your ensemble, your tie, your boots. Girl, you just working it today. Welcome to Brunch, a taste of Tobago. So, clinical sexologist, tell me how you began charting that course. Let's start there.
Okay. So I did not grow up expecting to or looking forward to studying human sexuality. It was never a part of my goals or intentions. But for a few years, I worked at the Tobago HIV Secretariat, and I was the Information, Education, and Communications Officer in that department, which meant that we had to help people negotiate safer sexual practices. And so my interest in human sexual behavior came out of that HIV work. What began happening is that more and more folks who we had interactions with kept coming back to me, coming back to the office and asking for more information about sexuality. And it got to the point where I did not have the skills, I did not have enough information. And so I decided this is really important. This is something that I seem to be able to do without judgment, and folks were comfortable. And more kept coming, and I felt more and more incompetent.
Yeah.
And I decided, okay, this is something I need to study. And so my interest started there, and the goal and the intention to become a sexologist started there. And so I began looking for funding to be able to do that, because I had to go study abroad to get a degree. And so I have a master's of education in human sexuality. And then I went on, I like to say I have a master's in sex. And then I went on to study and to add to that other specializations, including sex coaching, sex therapy, and then somatic sex education. And also I'm trained as a sex and faith facilitator, which means I work with Christian communities around sexuality and sexual health.
Ooh la la. Quite a bit there.
Yep. And
Quite
never a dull
bit.
moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, on this side of the spectrum, you get to meet so many people. There's so many stories. There's so many trials and tribulations in life where people are. And I think it's so wonderful that you get to meet them where they're at, and you make them comfortable to just have even like a basic discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, what are some of the, we want to talk about World Female Orgasm Day, but before we do that, what are some of the issues that in your expert analysis that women face? What are some of the issues that you know, there must be basic issues that you keep hearing about that would come up in conversation. What would some of those be?
Right. So yes, there are so many common sexual concerns that I come across in my practice. One of them is a lack of interest in sex or lack of desire.
Right. Ooh,
So they may
that's a good
start off a relationship or start off life with that sense of wanting to pursue their sexual growth or their sexual experiences. Life steps in, children happen, and that work-life balance, that stress can often create a decrease in sexual desire or interest in
Right.
sex. So there's a loss of that. There's also difficulty in experiencing orgasm. That is actually quite common. And there are some women who, one, have never experienced orgasm, or two, can only experience it with themselves. So solo pleasure. We also use the term masturbation. I
that's a
prefer solo
basic-
pleasure.
yeah.
Yeah. So that is actually those two things, that inability to experience orgasm is also very common.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's actually, because I heard about cases where you have the inability to even before you get to the orgasmic stage, you're not aroused it's not natural. And I've heard about cases, of that being actually a thing.
Yes.
And it really took me a step back because I'm thinking, wow, these are really some problems that women face. What about stress? Does stress play a part in lack of desire, lack of wanting, intimacy and that sort of thing?
Most definitely, and it's really a physiological issue. Meaning, once the body's under stress, it's going to release particular chemicals, particular hormones that interfere with the body's ability to bond to the sex hormones.
Oh, wow.
And so those stress those stress chemicals, those stress hormones are actually connecting to or binding to the cells that would be the ones that are activating sexual interest and sexual arousal. So until you get those stress hormones and those stress chemicals out of your body, or not at a level where they actually interfere with that interaction in the body, then you're going to have difficulty having interest or experiencing arousal when it comes to sexuality. So it's not just it's really not just a mind thing. It literally is the body is saying, hey, this is not important. Other things are important. The other things that are causing the stress that you think are your priority, the things in your life that you're trying to manage. And so those stress chemicals are released for you to manage that part of your life. And if that is what you're doing, the message is sex isn't important. Sex isn't a priority. And so those sex hormones are not being allowed to do their job when you're under that kind of stress.
Yeah. What about women's health? Now, I've been seeing so many columns and so many articles, and everybody basically giving their 2 cents about that topic because it's so vast. You can go so many places with speaking on women's health. How important is it regarding women's health in relation or intermingling with a healthy sex life?
Sex life, right. A lot of people ask that question because, so first of all, let me start off saying that the context in which we learn about sex or which we experience sex in this part of the world tends to be associated with fear, shame, and guilt. And so because there's a lot of fear, shame, and guilt around our sexuality, we don't tend to explore it. We're not being taught about it. And so we don't understand the role that sexual wholeness and wellness plays in our overall sense of health and well-being. And so I like to start with the scientific basis for exploring and having a good and healthy sex life.
Right.
Engaging in sexuality causes the release of particular hormones that actually help in keeping you youthful, in helping you have a good or strong immune system, and it helps with bonding, and it also helps to keep particular muscles in the body, particular tissues in the body strong and flexible.
Right.
Because our sexual organs aren't separated, they're not in a vacuum and disconnected from other tissues in our bodies. And so, for example, a very practical example is for women who are not engaging in any kind of sexual activity, which would mean that their pelvic floor muscles, the vaginal wall muscles, they're not being exercised. Blood is not going there.
Yes.
And like any other muscle in the body, it begins to atrophy, it gets weak, it begins to collapse. And so if you could think of or imagine that tunnel of muscle in the vagina getting weak and sagging and collapsing, and then the pelvic floor muscles that holds up some of our organs begins to get weak and collapse. It means that as you get older, you begin to experience incontinence. So you're going to leak urine when you cough, sneeze, jump, and move. When you have to go for your gynecological exam, when they have to insert that speculum because your muscles have collapsed and there's no flexibility, pain, and they can't access the tissues to see whether those tissues are in good health and in good working condition.
Oh my.
Yes. And so, for very practical reasons, as well as your mental health, emotional health, and other benefits of sexual activity, there is a very practical aspect of not having certain muscles and tissues kept in good condition because you're not engaging them in a particular kind of way.
Yeah. And you said it so well. You see, we tend to think that our sexuality is, I'm on this end and the sexuality part is on this end. And usually we don't feel that it's connected to us.
Yes.
It's not connected to our mind, our bodies, our souls, our spirituality.
Exactly
and everything that goes into it. So it goes back to the point that you're making about the initial way that we are taught.
Yes.
really plays a part on our psyche, on our subconscious, not just our conscious mind, but our subconscious minds as well.
Yep.
And so it probably governs the way we think about sex and sexuality.
Yes, and it governs the priority we place on that aspect of our health and well-being.
Yeah.
It is usually sacrificed, it's put as the last thing, it's not a priority. Often in a partnership, you want to concentrate on everything else except that because that's not so important. We can survive without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then we think that we can survive without it, but we don't know the damage that's being done internally.
Yep. And even if we do and we can, I mean, it's not a life-threatening thing if you're not engaging in sex. But think about what are you missing out on?
Right.
What are you not adding to your sense of well-being, to your sense of connection to yourself, connection to a partner, and for some people, connection to creator, to spirituality. So when a client comes to me, before I do any work with them, there's an intake form or an assessment, like a doctor would assess you, do their checkup on you. And there's an assessment that we do. And when someone comes to me, I'm assessing the mental aspect of sex,
Yes.
mind, attitudes, beliefs, thoughts. I'm assessing the emotional aspect of your sexuality, your baggage, your ability to have trust, your capacity for intimacy, and other things.
Yes.
I'm assessing the physical aspect. Where do you have pain and numbness? Do you know how your body is aroused and how it feels pleasure? Do you know how to create an arousal within
Arousal.
yourself? And then I assess your spirituality.
Yes.
How is sex important to you and beneficial to you beyond the physical and the body-based aspect, beyond that physical pleasure?
Yeah.
So all of those things are assessed before I put together an action plan or a treatment plan to work with a client.
With.
Yeah.
But even with assessments, I'm thinking even simple body language
Yes.
tells a lot about a person being comfortable with
Oh, yeah.
discussing or being honest about certain things. And it's always, this conversation is always going back to what we were taught.
Yes.
And there was always the parents and grandparents of a certain era, there was always a connotation that, yeah, it's something that is supposed to happen, but there's the shame, there's a certain level of shame that comes. And so you're not confident at all. You're not willing to put it as a priority or put it where,
Exactly.
it's for you, it's in your mind's eye that it's something that is really good for your health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So as we're talking about that, World Female Orgasm Day, tell us about this wonderful event.
So to be quite honest, I don't know the year in which it started, but based on the video that we just saw, I know it was a politician in Brazil who came up with the idea and who established that date as being a time when you want to focus on what aspect of female sexual pleasure do you need to improve on. And so one of the things that I do when I'm talking, especially about female sexuality, is explain that women can actually experience between 15 to 16 different kinds of orgasmic sensations.
Occurrences, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're only experiencing one or two, you really are not experiencing your full erotic potential, which means that you are denying yourself the benefits of what those pleasure hormones can do for keeping your body youthful and healthy.
Yeah.
For its ability to also help with mental clarity, releasing stress. And when we release stress, we are also able to be more creative in how we think. There's room for creativity. When we are in our pleasure, and we say pleasure is medicine or sex is medicine, and in very real ways they are, because they can be very healing when they're applied strategically. And so you are denying yourself access to more creativity within yourself. You are denying yourself a sense of seeing the world through a lens of possibility, through a lens of through a lens of joy and bliss.
Yeah. And you said it so well. You are denying
Yes.
yourself. So going forward, the narrative needs some tweaking. It
most
has
definitely.
to change.
Most definitely.
Do you see any changes? Do you see us moving positively into the next phase of
Yes, I do.
living?
And I can say that based on my experiences with folks who have come to me for help or support. that I did not reach out to. So they've been observing my work, I guess. People who've been in my space as individuals have gone back and they have shared with their communities, with their families, what they've experienced with me. And what I have found coming out of that is that churches, religious organizations are reaching out for help and support around how they can both keep their values for their religious or spiritual practice, as well as find a way to integrate sexuality into that so they're not compromising their beliefs.
Yes.
That's a tricky kind of thing to do.
Yeah, it's ticklish.
It's ticklish, especially because there's so many ways to interpret scripture. But it is such a joy when I'm able to work with groups like that and we figure out a way to remove the fear, shame, and guilt around sexuality and still have people see their sexuality as something that is not frowned upon by whoever they think creator is. To find a way to integrate that with what they consider to be good spiritual practice or good religious practices. And I have actually been in one Islamic space where we had that discussion. And that can be even more ticklish sometimes.
That's an interesting
interesting oh my gosh, but the conversations were beautiful. They were intense. There's often tears, you know, when people realize, my gosh, I've missed out on so much, or I've misjudged myself, or I have not treated my partner well, or I have not been treated well.
Yes.
And then to find your way out of that sense of grief. There's a sense of grief and loss when you recognize how important this aspect of life can be, and how the fear, shame, and guilt, as I said before, denies you such a beautiful experience and a beautiful interaction with yourself and with a partner.
Definitely.
You know, so.
And does it make a woman feel a great sense of liberation?
Oh my gosh, empowerment.
Let's talk about that empowerment
Yes.
feeling, you know, when you get to the point that you want to be. And then you're in balance with everything. It kind of just comes together in a really nice way. Let's talk about liberation. When your patients, you know, I know they would come and they would share their experiences with you. What is that feeling like when you see and you feel through them that they are really reaching where they need to be sexually? How does that feel as a motivator, as a practitioner?
So I like to point out that the skills that you learn associated with good sexual negotiation, for example, or understanding who you are as a sexual being often spill over into real life. So an example is body-based exercises, getting to know your body, getting to sense what your body likes and doesn't like. That's something that allows you to say and ask for what you want clearly, to instruct and direct your partner, so that you both can have an experience that is really good, that is really rewarding and really pleasurable and satisfying. And then when you're in that mood, there is something called the sexual afterglow that lasts for about 1 to 2 days after you had a really good experience.
So we're going to talk about this when we come back, right? We're going to talk about the sexual afterglow. We have a few more questions for Monica. We're going to take a break and we're going to come right back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. See you guys soon.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Summerama, real steam for the summer standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy standard. What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more, we got more. Standards of what you're searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beating on quality and price. Ignite.
Also lovers, stand up. Also lovers, stand up.
Are you flood ready? Monitor trusted sources for info. Wear protective gear when you clean up. Contact your insurance provider to assess the damage. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
We are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Now, before we went to the break, we were speaking on that sexual afterglow. And we stuck a pin, and I told you I was going to come right back with that. So let's just elaborate on that afterglow and how, how liberating that feels. Everything just seems to fall into place after that. Yeah, tell me some of the experiences that you would have had with some of your patients.
Right. So clients, not patients.
Clients. My apologies. Clients.
It's okay. So when you have a really good sexual experience, and that means you are physically satisfied, there's emotional satisfaction. For some people, there's also a sense of feeling connected to life in general. So there's a spiritual aspect as well for a lot of people when it comes to having a really good sexual experience. And so there's a release of two hormones that I remember off the top of my head, so dopamine and oxytocin, that floods the system.
Right.
And they stay in the system, it seems, based on research, up to 48 hours after. Woo. And so here you are in this afterglow, this flood of those chemicals or hormones in the body that help you feel really good. And your outlook to life is much more positive. And so you're seeing the world through a different kind of lens. You're more optimistic. You feel closer to your partner. You're able to negotiate with your partner things that you want to do together. Yeah? And so that sense of feeling satisfied, of feeling hopeful, of feeling optimistic, of course, will spill over into other areas of your life. It is why sometimes, in an office or work environment, people say, she probably ain't getting enough sex in her. Because we know.
Yes, and I've heard it. You would hear the murmurs in the corridor.
Yep, and there is scientific truth to that. To being in a good mood and feeling empowered and feeling optimistic and hopeful about life.
Yeah.
Because you've had a really good sexual experience that releases these wonderful hormones in the body that affect how the brain works, that affects how we think, that affects our worldview. Yeah. Our bodies literally has its own kind of pharmacy. We have a pharmacy. And every emotion or thought that we have creates an equal chemical in the body.
Right.
So sadness produces particular hormones or chemicals. Joy produces that kind. Hope, anger.
Right.
Yeah, they all release particular pharmaceuticals into the body. And so when we give ourselves certain experiences, we are literally taking control over how we want our bodies to be, the sensations we want to create. And so we have more direct control over how we interact with and engage with life, with ourselves and with others.
Definitely.
Yeah. And there's a sense of, well, let me pause and come back a little bit. One of the things I teach all my clients when we're talking about getting good sexual experiences is how do you get consent and how do you get affirmative consent? How do you negotiate what you want with a partner? The language that you use, the techniques and tools that you use. Those are not just applicable to your sexuality. When you understand what consent looks like and how you negotiate that, when you understand how to negotiate with somebody what you want and how you want it and the compromises you may need to make, that is also something you can do in life.
Definitely.
You can teach your children about consent. So they're beginning to learn at different levels what consent looks like. And so as they become teenagers and young people, we have a next generation that is not experiencing the kind of generational sexual trauma that we experience, particularly coming out of as a result of colonization.
Yes.
And the
Which
things that
was
we lost.
Very, 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 very bad for us.
Yes.
Very
And so
bad.
learning about consent, negotiating for what you want with a partner, and those are skills that spill over into real life. So that sense of empowerment, that I can do this, that I can settle my body even in conflict, that I understand what discomfort is like in my body, and I learned a breathing technique or a movement technique or a meditative practice that allows my nervous system to settle so that I have more tolerance and capacity to negotiate and ask for what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, I know that you're going to have some questions. Please feel free to put your questions in the comments section. And Monica is here to really, really empower us and give us the information that we need. What I also wanted to let you guys know is that we are talking about something that seems to be a bit of a sore point for a lot of adults, that we see that happening now. And so I'm hoping that you guys are watching, I'm hoping that you guys are listening, and I'm hoping that you have a better understanding of what it means to have your sexuality, a healthy sexuality in your being. It's emotional, it's physical, it's spiritual, it's connected to you. And so we want you to have some empowerment as we go forward. So we're hoping that Brunch did that for you this morning. Tell me, what about schools? What is the conversation? Are we doing sex education in schools?
So I am not very familiar or aware of what is being taught in schools into the details of the curriculum.
Okay.
I know there is some work being done. I also remember that years ago when I was part of the HIV Secretariat, that we were trying to get access to those who were developing the curriculum because there were some serious concerns about the content and how it was being taught and what was missing.
Yeah.
And so folks in authority who are managing that, who are responsible for that, are still very reluctant, in my experience.
Okay.
To engage with that. There's still a lot of pushback from groups who tend to be very loud and very aggressive.
Yeah.
In their resistance when it comes to sex ed in schools. What's interesting for me is that since I came back home from studying, and this is back in 2014, I have had a series of interactions with PTAs, with primary schools and secondary schools. And when I do my presentation and I explain exactly what sex education entails, what it looks like, I've never had a negative response.
Okay.
So once you get the gatekeepers is a topic in sex education.
Yes.
And abstinence is a skill that we teach. We teach refusal skills. We teach negotiation skills along with the safer sex, along with the other things that people are uncomfortable with, which would include talking about sexual orientation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so
that's a whole other topic.
lesson.
Right, so.
And so all of that is what I presented to parents and teachers in those PTA meetings.
Right.
With folks. Yeah, but you put it in a particular context. You let them know that, hey, there will be not just a checklist, but a schedule of what the topics are going to be and what are the goals and what we're going to teach. So that they can decide, well, this lesson here, I don't want my child involved.
Right.
If they wish. But the thing about children is when you give them really good skills, they become peer educators.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to pass information from person to person as a child. It's innocent and they are very,
Yes. And so even if that child misses a particular lesson, they're going to come back to school and hear their peers talking about it.
Yeah,
so they will still learn something.
Definitely.
And the objective of those really controversial topics is not to force them. We always have values education, but it's about clarifying what your values are that will work for you to keep you safe and healthy.
Yes.
But the objective for those kinds of lesson plans that people find controversial is to let people know there's always been diversity. Yeah. And just because folks don't behave the way you think they should behave doesn't give you the right to bully or deny them basic sexual rights. And they are not trying to take anything away from you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And
So-
on that note, we have so much to talk about, but so little time. So you definitely have to come
I have to
back.
come back.
We need to talk about our children and the internet and how accessible
Oh my gosh.
all these things are. So the
Yeah.
conversation needs to start with us. So Onika is definitely going to have to come back to Brunch a Taste of Tobago. We are going to wrap. But before we do that, guys, this is a wonderful trivia question. Who was the first Tobago-born Central Bank Governor of Trinidad and Tobago? Let me say that again. Who was the first Tobago-born Central Bank Governor of Trinidad and Tobago? You guys get to typing. This is a nice one. I think somebody could get this right. So once again, Onika, thank you so
Yes.
much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Kicking it with us on Brunch with your lovely boots. It's not my size, otherwise I would let you leave it with me.
Right.
But we're going to come right back. We're going to wrap and we're going to come back with DIYs, guys. So get yourselves ready. We'll be right back with Brunch, a Taste of Tobago.
Inner Health, number 13B Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, 1/2 inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Are you flood ready? Review and update insurance coverage. Install floodgates and barriers. Create a family flood plan. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2 and 3 bedroom fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV and a pool and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
DIY Wednesday. Now, guys, you know that this is one of my favorite segments, and I've always wondered about soap making, lovely soap. I've always wondered about that, and today I am very, very, very blessed and privileged to have Latifah Sandiford here with me, and she is the owner of Candid Secrets. Yes, Candid Secrets. Right, so I'm going to just join Latifah. Latifah, thank you so much and welcome to Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Now, tell us about what we're going to be doing today.
Today, we're going to be making a mango turmeric soap. So first, turmeric is good for brightening the skin. It's good for hyperpigmentation, right? With mango, it adds collagen. It helps add collagen to the skin. So you can go in now. You will be doing the mixing. So in this jar, we have 1.5 tablespoons of turmeric and 2 tablespoons of coconut milk.
Okay.
We're going to pour it into the oil and the butters. In this bowl, we have rice bran oil, coconut oil, canola oil, shea butter, and castor oil.
All right.
So we're going to
the
add
whole
it.
thing?
Yes, the
It's
whole
already
thing.
measured, right?
So we added the turmeric and the coconut milk to the oil so that when we add the lye, it doesn't, the turmeric and the coconut milk will be mixed in already. Right? So you can, this is an immersion blender and you go on the lowest speed to get everything mixed in.
Okay. So this is the lowest. So this is to ensure that we don't have any lumps.
Yes. And stop. And then you slowly add the lye. I'll add while you mix.
While I mix?
Yes.
So tell me about the lye. What is the significance of adding lye to
It's gonna help the soap saponify, which is butter, oil, mixing with the lye.
The consistency is changing. That's supposed to happen.
Yes. It's gonna cause the lye and the water to mix together with the butter. So when you pour, you won't have like oil residue left over.
Right. So you're safeguarding against the residue from the oil.
So you can stop now as we see the consistency changes.
Yes, it's definitely
so
thicker
now
and smoother.
You can add some fragrance oil or essential oil. Today's oil is mango and coconut milk.
Okay. Oh, this should smell amazing.
And before you finish mixing all together, you add mango. So this is Julie mango.
Yeah.
Yes, mango is going out of season.
My favorite.
But
Julie
you can
mango.
freeze it and you have it year out.
So what are some of the benefits of mango for the skin?
It's gonna help retain the collagen in your skin.
All right, so I'm mixing the mango in, or you're doing that with the spatula?
Yes, you mix it a little more, and then we use the spatula.
Okay.
Around, you go around, so to get everything mixed in. So you're gonna get thicker and thicker as you mix it. So at this point, you use a spatula and you mix in it a bit more so you can pour it into the soap mold.
Yes. Oh, and this is the mold right here. This is your mold.
So this is a 35-ounce batch of soap and a 35-pound mold. So you can just take the spatula and mix all the edges and stuff to get everything mixed in together. So to safeguard, making soap can be messy at times. So you have to have 2 items on stock, which is vinegar and olive oil. So if it gets on your skin, you can take some olive oil and rub it in to soothe it.
Right.
Because it's gonna leave a burning sensation.
And turmeric in itself is like a dye. It really
it
leaves
changes
a
the
color.
color. Yeah. So instead of adding artificial coloring like micas, you can use natural coloring like turmeric, charcoal, bentonite clay, Tobago clay, which is found in the rainforest. You could use cucumber, you could use bay leaf, coffee, all those natural colorants.
Why is this looking like cake?
It's similar to cake because
maybe my mind is on cake. Maybe that's why.
Probably. So at this point, you can pour it into the mold. So you can pour on this side so you could see where
this out. All right, so it's pouring time, guys, into our lovely mold.
So I'll help you
Help me?
scrape
Yes,
it
scrape.
down. So you don't want to mix your soap too much for it to get hard while it's still in the bowl, because you can, when you pour in, you can manipulate the top for it to be any texture you want it to be after it's cured.
So what happens after the mold?
After it's in the mold and
yes,
it's hardened. So it takes 4 to 6 weeks for core processed soap to cure. And then you can go ahead and enjoy. But as it's in here now, I'm gonna put it in a cupboard so that it can go through the heating phase, so it can harden, and then I remove it from the mold and cut it up. So you can design the top of the soap any way you choose. So you can go from one side and scoop it up like this, or you can go from the other side, or you can do like a wave, like just simply tap the top of the soap to create a texture. So you can decide whichever.
I like.
You like the wave
Yeah,
look?
I like the wave.
Okay, you can do that to this side as well. So when the soap is cured, I will be bringing it back so that the studio can share it together.
So just remind us really quickly. So this is mango, turmeric,
and soap with coconut milk.
Right.
So it's a mango turmeric with coconut milk.
All right. So there are so many benefits here. If I had to say all the benefits in this one soap, I would be here all day. But the turmeric, mango, coconut oil, coconut milk.
Soap.
And So
Right?
there you go. So this is what it looks like, yeah?
Yes.
When it's
That is
finished?
the finished product.
Yeah, so this is what we have. I'm just going to have my Vanna White moment. right. So tell us a bit about the other, I'm seeing other
products.
Lovely products here.
So
tell us a bit about what we have
it's
here.
a skincare line, also with scented candles.
Just put it on
So
front here.
this is a body scrub. The scent is coconut melon, coconut watermelon, and I use mica to create that watermelon look. So it has the poppy seed, it has the green mica, and the red mica.
Okay, and this is sugar in there as well?
Yes, it's
sugar?
granulated sugar.
Okay.
So this, with my scrub, I do use liquid so that when you apply it to your skin don't have to be wet. Right?
Oh.
And it won't fall off your skin.
Okay, that's good because sometimes I'm afraid of the mess with making scrubs at home.
And the secret scrub?
Yeah, they fall
You won't get
off
them.
and it's all over the floor. Yeah. And it's just the whole thing. It's just the whole vibe. So I love the fact that you are safeguarding against spillage. Tell us about turmeric face and body scrub.
So the
Another
turmeric
Vanna White
face
moment.
and body scrub, it has turmeric, kojic acid, and lemon essential oil, which is great for your. It can be used on your face and your body. It's gonna help with dark spots, hyperpigmentation, and just the general smoothing of your skin.
Definitely, and we all want that. Body butter. Oh, this I just love the color is amazing.
And
Tell
it
us about
smells
this
just
one.
like cake. Right? So the body butter is moisturizing and hydrating for the skin. It's not too greasy because of the recipe that we use. So it's sometimes you wanna get that body butter on and run out the house, and when you're out in the sun, you're looking like you were fried.
Yes.
But with this body butter, you won't get that greasy look.
All right. So what is in the body butter, if I could ask? What's
Yes. So we
the
have avocado
ingredients?
oil, cocoa butter, shea butter, emulsifying wax, stearic acid, and the liquid we use is aloe vera.
Okay.
It has glycerine, and the preservative we use is Optifed.
Okay. Tell us about facial serum.
So the Sunkissed facial serum is going to help enhance the glow of the skin. It's going to help with acne, right? So in this product, we have sweet almond oil, avocado oil, tea tree oil, vitamin C, vitamin E oil, turmeric oil as well.
Yes. So this is for really
face.
problematic skin,
Yes,
acne,
for
prone
acne
skin
and
stuff
stuff.
like this. Okay. Ooh wee, lovely, 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 lovely. How can we reach you? Your telephone number, social tags.
So you can reach me on Facebook and Instagram at Candid Secrets, Candid with a K. So it's KANDID Secrets. You can contact me via WhatsApp or call 329-8119. I do have a website. It's candidsecrets.company.site.
Okay. If I could just smell this a little more. Oh.
We also have scented candles as well.
This is nice. And candles. You do
Yes.
candles.
So the one to the bottom, it's a candle.
one?
Yes.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. How do you open?
So
So it's a candle.
Yes, it's a baked pear and
see the
cinnamon
wick inside?
candle.
Yes. Okay. So we definitely have to visit because I'm loving what I'm seeing. I'm loving what I'm smelling. It
Thank
could
you.
be because I'm hungry, who knows? But I'm smelling cake. I'm smelling all kinds of things coming out of this. So let me just put it down for a while, and let me just let you guys know that I'm waiting on the trivia question answer. Nobody got it as yet. So let me just go again with the trivia. I'm going to pull it up on the screen right now for you. Who was the first Tobago-born central bank governor of Trinidad and Tobago? Let me say it again. Who was the first Tobago-born central bank governor of Trinidad and Tobago? Notice how I stressed on Trinidad and Tobago. We're patriotic here. We love doing things like this. This is Brunch, a taste of Tobago. We want to thank Latifah. I absolutely love that name, Latifah. Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful products with us. And we hope to have you back. We hope to have you back.
I will be back.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
definitely in your lovely pink ensemble. I love it. You guys should see the outfits. It's work. She's working it. Yes, we are going to be right back. Book club is next. That's something to look forward to. Joel Green is here. Our sister is here with book club. So we're going to be back after this with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. See you guys soon.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Are you flood ready? Recycle and properly dispose of large waste. Avoid sweeping yard clippings or trash into drains. Plant trees to avoid soil erosion. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
If you see or know about a crime, report a crime safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero. Champion. Fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement, and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolands, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Good morning. Put a smile on your...
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL is always right here for you. tell them never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Thank you for tuning in with us today. I am Jewel Green and this is Book Club Corner. And today we have with us a lovely local author. But every Wednesday we're here for Book Club Corner, where we chat with authors and writers about the literary arts, their books, and their love for the written word. And today we have with us local author, multilingual interpreter, Janike Myers. And we welcome you with us today, Janike.
Gracias.
I told her we're gonna do some Spanish because let me tell you, I want to get in some of my Spanish. So, hola a todos.
Buenos días.
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Ay, muy bien, muy bien. And we'll be even better when I tell you about this wine that we're having this morning. So today we want to thank our sponsor. This is from our wonderful sponsor, and we're having some cassava wine from Jofield Wines. This is a smooth blend, and we love our local winemakers. He's using, ground provisions and things from the earth to make his wine, and this is an awesome blend. And we do the 5 S's of wine tasting here at Book Club. So we see the wine. This is a white wine, right? We'll start with that, and then we swill the wine. We look for the legs, that's the sugar content, and then we sniff the wine.
I'm not sure if I'm detecting the cassava, but let's sniff again.
And then we sip and savor.
So we would say saludo in
love
Spanish,
that.
yes.
Saludo.
Chin chin. Okay. Yes, I got the cassava. I got the cassava.
It takes you on the back. Very delicious. We love this. Wonderful. At brunch, we have to take some brunch. We get some wine in us and we talk about books, and we love it here at Book Club Corner. And we're talking to Janike Myers, and Janike's book is called CARICOM, Good Offices, Good Neighbors. And when I saw the title of your book, I said, Good Offices. What do you mean by that? And I asked you, is that, was that something significant? And I want you to tell us, what is the significance of that term, good offices and good neighbors? And why did you decide to write a book about this topic?
Well, I'm glad that title got your attention. It means that I did something right along the way. Yes. But good offices is a fancy term to say something super simple. It's influence. How influence is exercised, how we can use our good offices, our good influence, our good reputation to get things done. Very simply put. Now that it really is founded on the notion of having a reputation. You have to have a good reputation in order to be able to extend influence to get people to do something. Now, there's no malicious intent. It's to get something done in a positive way. And I wanted to highlight in my book how CARICOM, the Caribbean Community, as a regional organization, uses its good reputation, its ability to influence, to be able to do good in the context of the Venezuelan crisis in particular.
And I love that idea that, CARICOM is an entity that's being, as a vehicle to create a better situation than what is happening, right? Whether it's for mediation, whether it's for talks, whether it's to help a situation that's not the best happening in the Caribbean. You know, when we talk of CARICOM, and for those of you out there who are wondering, you know, CARICOM, I've heard of it before. It just means Caribbean community, right? And we are one Caribbean community. I remember my mother talking about the Federation of the West Indies. And whenever I hear about CARICOM, my ears get piqued, and I asked, a few people, I've done some research and some reading, and CARICOM in terms of the Federation, it is literally the Federation didn't work out, and now we have CARICOM, and I have a few friends in the EC Islands, and she said, we went to a workshop, and she said, Jewel, how y'all doing in Trinidad and Jamaica now that, y'all not in the Federation?
I think it's an ongoing debate. Yes. I think there's some folks who have a bit of nostalgia about the West Indies Federation, but what I would hasten to point out is that federation was a creation of the United Kingdom. You had several countries, about 10 countries, which were British provinces at the time, so they were still part of the colony, who wanted their independence, and the UK was saying, well, okay, we'll allow you to organize yourselves as a federation. So the impetus was not from the islands themselves, so to speak. This was a creation. It was crafted by the UK, by the very same colonizer that we were trying to gain independence from. So that's my opinion, and again, all their voices will contend, but my opinion is that it was doomed to fail because the whole initiative did not come from us, whereas, and that was back in 58 or so, then you had, so as we famously know, Dr. Eric Williams, the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, said, 1 from 10 is not. Jamaica at the time decided to pull out, and so that fell apart. But then, back in 1973, so more than 10 years later, we had the birth of the Caribbean community, which really came out of the bowels of newly independent states, because by then these countries had gotten their independence from Great Britain, and they decided, look, let's come together and let's form this Caribbean community. And I think even the name is very significant, that we saw ourselves as a community as opposed to the previous incarnation, which was a federation. So even that name federation gives you an idea of sort of federated state. But we saw ourselves as a community, and that is a thing that I hold on to. So when we call, we refer to CARICOM, the Caribbean community, and as we were talking about earlier, I like to think of us as a Caribbean family. Yes. A wide Caribbean family.
I love that idea. And while I was, getting into your book, and let me just say, because we love to be read too in Book Club Corner, so don't think you're getting away, because this is a heavy topic today.
Well, you're holding the English version, so you could read. I have the Spanish one.
we want some Spanish. Listen, we're very multilingual and cultured here in Book Club Corner. So when I was reading the book, I saw that you had, we were talking about the CARICOM in relation to this Venezuelan crisis, right? And really and truly, you started this as a dissertation. This wasn't going to be a book. This was your dissertation for your master's in diplomacy. What made you decide to take your research and your material and turn it into a book or publish it as a book? Where did the idea come from?
Thanks for allowing me to share that part of the journey. So yes, I had to find a topic for my master. I was doing a master's in diplomacy at the time, and I had to submit some sort of topic for my thesis. And interestingly enough, I was working in Bangladesh at the time in one of the largest population movement operations. We're 1.2 million in Trinidad and Tobago, and there I was working in an environment where there were 1 million refugees. And so that was my initial thought. Let me do something about diplomacy in that scenario. But then I came home on vacation around that time, October, when Trinidad and Tobago was doing a registration exercise for Venezuelan migrants here. And right here in Tobago, we were seeing lines of Venezuelans on the pavement, sleeping on the ground. And I said, but this can't be happening in my land, and I'm writing about something far away. So I changed the dissertation topic and delved into the whole matter of the Venezuelan crisis, what was pushing the Venezuelans to go wherever they could, and more particularly for those who came into the Caribbean region, because the natural thing would have been to go to neighboring Spanish-speaking countries, but of course they were going far and wide into the English-speaking countries as well, including Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, which are both members of CARICOM. And during the course of my research, I realized, but wait a minute, we have an official CARICOM position on what is happening in Venezuela, and the position was, we're not going to intervene, we're not going to interfere. It's the principles of non-interference, non-intervention, which is international law. But then, every Monday morning, you had a Caribbean nation state basically expressing something different to what CARICOM had said, and I said, this needs greater attention, and that is how I delved into that subject matter for my thesis, which then became a book.
I love that you looked at what was happening home. It's always best as authors. When we write, we want to write from a place of knowledge. We want to write from a place of what's happening, right? We want to be the voice for whatever situation, social issues, or whatever we might be noticing as artists, as creatives. We speak for what we're seeing in our society. And I like that you said, you were wondering what's happening here with the crisis with the Venezuelan migrants versus, where you had come from, which was in Bangladesh, and what was going on there. And, on a lighter note, one of the things I have noticed across the Caribbean community that ties us together is wine. I just wanted to put in a plug for all my winemakers across the Caribbean, and I meet them as I travel from place to place. Kudos to you.
Cheers.
Thanks again, Joe Field Wines, for this cassava wine.
Santé. So the French say santé, meaning to your health. So I will toast to the health of the Caribbean community and Caribbean people everywhere.
I love it. And, I always wonder, because as an entrepreneur myself, I did a winemaking course. I started a company to do wines, and only to find out that it was not something that was going to be easy to assimilate as a Caribbean person, right? In terms of export, imports, licensing, and all of that. That's one of the things we want CARICOM to do. We're looking towards CARICOM to make sure that it opens doors for us CARICOM nationals to be able to move, to be able to ply our trade, whether we're entrepreneurs, craftsmen. We want to be able to move, and we know that, just putting it out there, the CARICOM community had their meeting. This is their 50th anniversary, and happy 50th anniversary, Caribbean neighbors. And they've made a decision that you're not going to need the skill certificate anymore. You are going to be able to travel freely and work freely as a CARICOM national throughout the Caribbean. But that's going to come into law sometime next year. And
Correct.
one of the things, one of the organizations we always talk about in terms of CARICOM that has worked well is cricket. And I just have to bring
I think some people will beg to differ with you in terms of it working well or performing well, but it is undeniable that, to come back to even what I was saying earlier, as a Caribbean national, when I work abroad, I carry the Caribbean flag. And when I landed in Bangladesh, people didn't know where I was from. Now, I said Caribbean, I'm from the Caribbean, because I figured, okay, they're not going to know Trinidad and Tobago. I'm from the Caribbean. They still look at me quizzingly. And then when I say Trinidad and Tobago, oh, Brian Lara, Dwayne Bravo. And then I remembered, oh, yes, right. Yeah, there's a cricket connection. And then they quickly switch to, yes, West Indies, West Indies. So we have a brand that is well known across the globe. Yes. I think we don't appreciate it enough. Perhaps others appreciate it more than we do within the region. But certainly the West Indies brand, West Indies cricket team, has done a tremendous work in putting us literally on the map.
Yes, we have to talk about that. Whenever you start to talk about CARICOM or Caribbean community, we have to always look at that one. I would say that one sport that came out of pre-emancipation, right? The cricket.
Yes.
And when we look at cricket, it is a brand, it is an organization, a sport that really melded us as a Caribbean community, one, and put us on the map, and we talk about, the cricketers of not just Brian Lara, but the ones from before, Sir Walter, oh gosh, what is his name?
Vivian Richards,
Yes,
some
the
of the
three
grand,
W's. We talk about all them all the time, and it's a really good brand that they had. And I think they were, great ambassadors for the Caribbean community and Trinidad and Tobago as a whole, each West Indian island. And when we look at what you have in this book, because I'm going to give you the English version so you can read something. Let me tell you where I want you to read from.
Don't make me translate for myself.
So I looked at the page 54 conclusion. I like that. But before I do that, I'm going to read the back of the book because the way it was put together, this summary in the back of the book, it really made me feel to read the rest of the book, right? So you have here where it says, though small in total population size, CARICOM represents a voting bloc of 15 member states with the power to sway decisions taken in wider regional and international organizations. By maintaining a unified front, CARICOM can play a greater role as mediator, extended good offices to Venezuela's government and opposition leaders as they seek to resolve the ensuing political crisis. And what jumped out of me as an author is that you were able to succinctly put a summary together that would make a person interested, understand what the book was about. And authors out there, we want to tell you, this is what we need in the back of your book. When you're doing a summary, people want to be able to understand succinctly what is in your book. We don't want it to be a microscopic dot. We want a wide vision of what's happening. And this summary talks about CARICOM representing a voting bloc of 15 member states. Tell me about that, because I also read in your book that there are other members besides full members in CARICOM.
Yeah, so that's something that is often overlooked. And so I wanted to highlight it in my book. As I said earlier, I was quite disappointed in seeing that CARICOM had a position on Venezuela, but then you had individual Caribbean leaders who decided that they had their own position and they were standing alone. But what we fail to realize is that 15 votes in the wider organizations, such as the Organization of American States, or even within the United Nations. Incidentally, the United Nations General Assembly is coming up soon in October, and we have a Trinidad and Tobago diplomat who is the president of the UN, of that session, the 78th session of the UN. So this is no small task. And what I'm basically saying in the book is that if we stand together as 15 voices, 15 votes, because at that point, it doesn't matter how small you are, it doesn't matter what your GDP is, it doesn't matter the size of your population, whether it's 100,000 or 12 million, as in the case of Haiti. What matters is you are one sovereign, independent country, and you have one vote. And so my theory is that if we stand together as a Caribbean community, we have 15 votes that could change the outcomes in those bigger organizations. And very often, let me say this too, you have other nations who are using their own diplomatic skills to try to sway individual CARICOM countries to vote in their favor on particular matters, whether it's security matters or trade or whatever have you. And I'm saying that we CARICOM nations must not allow ourselves to be used by a puppet master anywhere in this world to be able to support them if we don't stand together on those issues. Remember, 15 voices. If we stand as one, we're going to change the outcomes, but we don't see it that way, unfortunately.
I think a few of us do, but perhaps not enough of us do.
Well, clearly some of our leaders don't. When you see how certain countries vote on particular matters, you may have one official CARICOM position, as was the case with Venezuela when that commotion was happening after the Venezuelan presidential elections, where some were saying, well, we are backing Maduro as the president. Others are saying, well, no, we are backing Juan Guaido. CARICOM said officially, listen, there was an election. Matter of fact, CARICOM was invited to be an election observer We were present on the ground in the preparations for those elections, and we sort of gave a seal of approval for those elections. So how could it be then that after the elections are held and CARICOM was there to officiate over the elections, how could you have Caribbean states jumping up and saying, well, we recognize Juan Guaido or we recognize Maduro? No. CARICOM has one position: non-interference, non-intervention. We are not going to step on the toes of a sovereign state.
Yes. Let me tell you, we got some hot tea in here about CARICOM.
I don't want to heat up the wine, but we don't like hot wine.
Let's go to page 54. I want you to read this conclusion you have here. And just remember, this was a dissertation. I mean, you know, but I'm just reminding of you. This was a dissertation. So she was doing research for a paper and decided to turn this into a book, right? CARICOM, Good Offices, Good Neighbors. I love that title so much. It kind of reminds me of a show that used to be on TV when I was young. Neighbors, it was an Australian soap opera. Okay. But we won't get into that. So,
I was thinking of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Okay, so we're going to get into conclusion. Could you read for us that conclusion you have there on page 54?
Right, so I don't know if 54 in Spanish is the same as English. So
this way.
Okay, great. So, while Venezuela is not part of CARICOM, it is situated within the Caribbean basin, sharing a critical border with the Caribbean Sea. It is also an immediate neighbor of continental CARICOM member states Guyana and Suriname. Diplomatic relations, important energy cooperation, trade links, and cultural exchanges undergird the relations between the South American giant and the small island developing states. As such, maintaining cordial ties with Venezuela is of strategic importance, the preservation of peace within the Caribbean basin. I like that.
Yes, I definitely like that. Let me tell you, peace within the Caribbean basin. You know, there are sometimes you read a passage and some string of words just speaks to you. And I like that, peace within the Caribbean basin. Guys, this is a book, if you're doing research or you want to know more about CARICOM in terms of the crisis that has been happening with the Venezuelan situation, this is a great book to read. I love how you put your stuff together. It was so well worded. It wasn't just an academic paper. It really, for me, I love the use of language in a very poetic way to get a message across. And I felt that you did that. Yes, I felt that you did that in this book, because it did not feel like, you know, oh, how am I going to get through this book? It's so heavy. It really felt like the information just flew off the pages as I was reading it, and I really understood what you were saying here. And I want you all to get this book if you're doing any research, if you want to know about CARICOM, wondering what's happening with it. Get Janique Meyer's book. She's a multilingual interpreter. She is the entrepreneur of her own business, and it's called Interpreting Your Needs. And we're wrapping up today, guys. Okay, and we have some time. I'm jumping the gun. We have some time. And it's not the wine speaking. This is brunch. So we're going to take a break right now. Yeah, we're going to take a break right now, and we're going to come back to you with more on CARICOM, Good Neighbors, Good Offices with Janique Myers.
Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry, if you're nice can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.com.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
Summerama, real steam for the summer standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, standard. What you have? What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more, we got more. Standards are what is searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beaten on quality and price. It nice.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Summerama, real steam for the summer standard. Is a dream for the summer. Dreamy, steamy, standard. What you have? What you have? All the best deals, no drama. Standard be beat like a hammer. Go tell your friend, tell your papa, tell your mama. We got more, we got more. Standards are what is searching for. Quality brand, discounts galore. New things for the summer, online in store. Summertime is here, so make the most out of it at Standard. Never beaten on quality and price. It nice.
Also lovers, stand up. Also lovers, stand up.
Are you flood ready? Monitor trusted sources for info. Wear protective gear when you clean up. Contact your insurance provider to assess the damage. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Inner Health, number 13B, Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience, offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bon Accord right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, half-inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
To Janique Myers about her book, CARICOM, Good Offices, Good Neighbors. And before we get back to Janique, I want to thank our good friend Neve from Design, the company that does floral designing, interior designing for events. Thank you very much for our centerpiece. And every Wednesday, we will be getting a fresh centerpiece from Neve, Design. He's a good friend of the Tobago Horticultural Society, and he was with that team that went, actually got gold at the Chelsea Flower Show earlier this year. Thank you very much for this, Neve. There's anthuriums and some of the flowers in there. He told me the names, but I didn't recall. It was a fancy name.
Gorgeous.
Anyway, we want to get back to Janique, and during the break we were talking about this CARICOM community, and part of that CARICOM community is UWI, right? It's the University of the West Indies, the 3 campuses and all the open campuses. And we were talking about our university experience. It is one of those experiences that creates bonds.
Absolutely.
Even beyond that university experience. You finish university and you still remember those good friends. I still remember all the friends I met, my Vinci friend, my St. Lucian friends. I mean,
don't forget the Jamaicans, lots of Jamaicans too. They have a whole hall of residents just for them. Canada Hall.
And they were always teaching us a dance. It was so much fun. But there were high points and low points in meeting because there is that getting to know people and figuring out personalities and all of that. What is your perspective according to your book, CARICOM, Good Offices, Good Neighbors? In terms of that brand that we talked about the cricket community, creating, an ambassadorship really for the Caribbean. And what about UWI? And we'll get into the CCJ as well, but tell us about UWI in terms of, your book and that experience.
So this is another area that I think is overlooked or taken for granted by most of our Caribbean nationals. We fail to identify the successes of CARICOM, and some of the successes of CARICOM are its institutions. CARICOM, the Caribbean community is not just a political organization. It has institutions and agencies that work on our behalf. So you mentioned the University of the West Indies. That is a CARICOM institution that deals in the area of education. We have brilliant scholars coming out of the region who go far and wide across the globe. And they had their first experience of tertiary education, most often than not, right here in the West Indies. Another one of my favorite CARICOM institutions is the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice, for the simple reason that, one, it is located here on our Trinidad and Tobago soil. Don't mind, as we say, Trinidad and Tobago has not yet signed on to it. We have not acceded to it. We do not recognize the CCJ as our final court of appeal, but we'll come back to that. Nevertheless, the fact that the Caribbean countries agreed that we needed our own judicial mechanism here, that is something that is of significance. Another one that I like in particular, because I've had to deal with in my previous role working in disaster management, is SEDIMA, the Caribbean Disaster Management Emergency Organization. I believe they're based out in Jamaica. And we have hurricanes. We're in hurricane season right now. This morning, did you see that rain this morning in Tobago?
Let me tell you.
Town is flooded already. But SEDIMA has been playing a very active role in preparing for disasters, all manner of disasters, not just the hurricanes, although we face those every single year. They are a very effective coordination mechanism, coordinating assistance, coordinating preparation when there is actually a hurricane in the region. They're coordinating with the meteorological services. They are prepositioning stocks so that right after the storm is gone, they can go into a country and deliver those stocks, deliver whatever assistance is needed. And also, what people don't know, they coordinate any international aid that's coming into the region. So it passes through them as a coordinating mechanism. So many more agencies I could talk about, but those are my favorite ones.
Yeah, I didn't know that they coordinate the aid. That's important. You know, when we look at the CARICOM community and what they've achieved, this is their 50th year of anniversary. And again,
our 50th
yes,
year. Our 50th
our
year.
50th.
Yes.
We have to own it. Happy 50th anniversary to all our CARICOM brothers and sisters across the Caribbean and even in the diaspora. We leave home sometimes and we live other places. But what I was, you know, as a Caribbean person, as a Trinidad and Tobago national, sometimes we don't always enjoy the benefits. And I know that a lot of entrepreneurs out there have had some gripes. CARICOM, you know, we have some issues with the trade agreements. We want to be able to do export and travel more smoothly and fluidly throughout the Caribbean. We're just putting out a plug through the, you know, through the Tobago Update Studio. Please fix it. We want to be able to travel right here in the Caribbean, you know, a few miles to the left and right. You know, you want to be able to see your brothers and sisters in the CARICOM
And we don't want to have to swim to get there.
we don't want to have to swim. But, you know, we want to get there more fluidly, more easily. And we want it to pull less on our pocket to get there, right? It's too close for the expense that we feel we have to pay. And when we look at the CCJ, you know, I just gonna give you the eye. What's going on with our, you know, why aren't we in the CCJ? I don't understand. We just went through emancipation celebration, heading into independence celebration, you know, and when we look at it as creatives, as authors, you know, I feel like, you know, we should have our own thing, you know, and if that is not where it is supposed to be yet, let's work on getting it there.
So certainly some Caribbean countries have recognized that, the more progressive ones. Barbados, Belize, Dominica, I'm calling names, Guyana, most recently St. Lucia, signed up. And when I say signed up, they signed up to say, hey, we don't need to go to the Privy Council in the UK anymore. We don't need to consult with the Lords of Great Britain anymore.
No more wigs.
We have our own thing.
Yeah.
We will make the Caribbean Court of Justice our final court of appeal. Now, something that I learned recently, the Caribbean Court of Justice actually has two functions. So it's not just a court of appeal, but it is also the organization that protects, and I'm reading here, it protects the rights of countries, businesses, and citizens of the CARICOM under the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. So basically, they're the ones who are responsible for interpreting that law, the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, for us as Caribbean nations. No other court in the world has the privilege of interpreting our law. So we have our law, and we get to interpret it, and we get to enforce it. And I think that is a sign of maturity for us when we can say, listen, when things go south, because all of our countries, we deal with some form of crime or criminality at some point or the other, whether it's in the sphere of business, fraudulent transactions, whether it's in other spheres. But some of our countries have matured enough to acknowledge that we don't need to go any further than our own region, our own Caribbean Court of Justice, to be able to come to final decisions, final adjudications on matters that are of importance to us. And I salute those countries who have made this move.
We do, and
we are waiting for Trinidad and Tobago.
We take a sip.
We are waiting for Trinidad and Tobago.
Of wine.
We're having
to
water,
those-
not wine. Wine turned into water.
Yeah,
Water
cheers
turned
to
into-
those Caribbean countries who are in the CCJ. And I love that you brought up what the CCJ does. You know, I think that's an important distinction, that they're there to interpret that that revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. I love that. Janike, before we go, tell us one thing that you learned while writing this book, CARICOM, Good Neighbors, Good Officers, that you didn't know before. And we're heading into wrapping up with this quote from Janike.
So actually, the quote is going to be a quote from, I think, the Caribbean's most active Prime Minister, the Honorable Mia Motley.
Oh, we love her.
Prime Minister of Barbados. And so I came across, of course, in researching for the book, she was one of the more active advocates speaking out on behalf of CARICOM. And so just beyond, what we see of her publicly, I really got into her speeches. And one quote that stood out for me and still stands today is F before I, family before ideology. We live in a region where we don't have that great diversity of political ideologies. It's not like in the United States where you have the Democrats and Republicans. In the Caribbean, it's, I want to say it's more ethnic, or you vote along the traditional lines. Whoever your parents voted for, you vote for them too.
Yeah.
But what Prime Minister Mia Motley said there, family before ideology, is significant. And I want to encourage us to really look at our Caribbean neighbors. As family, we are part of a family. Yeah. Maybe sometimes our family is a bit dysfunctional. Maybe there's some sibling rivalry within our Caribbean family. But I totally stand behind Prime Minister the Honorable Mia Motley when she says family first.
And
before
on
ideology.
that note, we're heading into wrapping up. We want to thank the viewers across the Caribbean community, Trinidad and Tobago, for sticking with us at Book Club Corner, where every Wednesday we talk to authors and publishers. And next Wednesday on Tobago Updates, we'll be talking to yet another local author. Stay tuned to our Facebook page, our Instagram account, and we'll tell you who that author is. Janike, we want to thank you for being with us. Janike Myers.
Merci.
Good Offices, Good Neighbors, CARICOM Community. And thank you for viewing with us.
Santé, merci. And salut Antoine, notre francophone qui parle. The producer who speaks French. Cheers to you too.
Cheers, Antoine.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Are you flood ready? Review and update insurance coverage. Install floodgates and barriers. Create a family flood plan. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
And we are back with Brunch, a taste of Tobago. Thank you so much for Jewel Green. Thank you for your wonderful interview with Shinike Myers. And, you know, it's so refreshing, it's so inviting, it's so uplifting to have positive sons and daughters doing great things and impacting the world. But we move from our book club to fashion. We are talking fashion. And my next guest speaks to that. His project Runway is an event that he wants to really open to the Tobagonian space. And he's here and he's going to be speaking with us. Mr. Karen Ward is on set, on screen to speak to us. Hi, are you seeing me? Are you hearing me?
Good morning, hearing me?
All right, so Karen is here and we are talking fashion, Tobago, models, Red Runway. It is finally back and in the Tobago space. And Karen is here to tell us about this wonderful event. All right, so Karen, over to you. Welcome to Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. And I wish you blessings. I wish you success in your upcoming event. So tell us a bit about Red Runway.
All right. Are you hearing me well? I'm not sure if you're hearing me. Are you hearing me, yes?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay, great. Well, my name is Kieran Ward, and the name of the company is Red Runway. We have been doing Red Runway in Trinidad for 15 years. And we did come to Tobago in 2013. We tried it in Tobago 2013, and then we came again. But we had the ferry issues. So we're now back in Tobago full time. And our cycle runs from August to October. That's the first cycle. So we tested it out. We had our first class yesterday, and we had a great turnout. We had participants, and next week we expect some more. The whole Red Runway program is about building confidence and self-development. So our program is built around giving young persons and, well, I don't want to say only young persons because our age group is from 14 to 80. So 80. So anyone who wants to participate and grow, you can join the program and be a part of it. What we do is we encompass a number of different activities such as drama, self-defense, art, as well as modeling, photo shoots, exercise, diet and nutrition, and all of that comes together in our classes. Our classes are usually once a week, so in Tobago it would be on Mondays from 6 to 8 p.m. And eventually, hopefully, we plan on doing our fashion show in Tobago as well.
Well, I thank you so much for including Tobago in this wonderful event, here. Like you said, you're going to be here on Monday. Is this auditioning? Is it screening? Is it open to everyone? Just repeat for our viewers the age limits. Is there an age limit to the persons who would be screened?
Okay, so we have I need to clarify something a bit, because people see, now when they see Red Runway, they see a lot of fashion show photos and they see a lot of fashion. But Red Runway is not only about the fashion, it's more based and centered around a program that helps build persons up and build their confidence. We use the modeling as a tool to help build their confidence. So in order to be a model, you need to have a lot of confidence. So our classes are centered around building your confidence and self-esteem through public speaking exercises and walking exercises, and it leads to a fashion show. So our classes are currently in Tobago every Monday at the Signal Hill Secondary School from 6 to 8 p.m. And any persons who would like to join and any persons who are willing to learn can join the classes.
Right. So that brought me to my next question. Do you have designers that are there designers that you can name that are on board with your project?
Off the top of my head, it's a difficult question you're asking me because I have 50 designers taking part in our showcases. So it's a long list of designers. And from previous shows, we've had trainees and designers from Tobago, right? I believe, let me see, I'm trying to remember Rasta Chick. That's one off the top of my head. I know she's from Tobago. As I said, it's a long list of designers that we have from Trinidad and Tobago. So now that we are in Tobago, I would like to focus on getting more Tobago designers on board, and they would participate in the fashion shows. So everyone that enrolls in our program will be a part of the fashion show, as in trainees, and any persons who are interested, as in designers and upcoming designers, they can showcase their work, because Red Runway is about giving persons opportunity and giving them a platform to showcase.
So, reaching out to, you just made a really, really wonderful point in terms of reaching out to Tobagonian designers. And, this is so wonderful in terms of having a platform, having a forum, having a space basically to really own your craft and really express yourself and show what you can do. I am so elated that you decided to bring this wonderful event to us. I am so happy that we are taking the time to really get to know our creatives, because you're mentioning designers who are going to be coming on stream for the project. So getting to know our creatives or designers, seamstresses, it trickles down so nicely with an event such as this. And we want to thank you so much for giving us that opportunity, making yourself available. Just remind us of how we can reach you. Are you still taking on designers? If there are designers who are desirous of being involved, how can they reach you?
All right. So I got cut off for a short while ago. I didn't hear everything. However, I heard the last part where you asked how designers could get on board. Now we have a page called Red Runway on Instagram, Facebook, so they can inbox us, or you could reach us at 684-2422. The number is also on the social media pages as well, so they could reach out to us and let us know if they're interested. And it doesn't matter their age. So if an 8-year-old is interested in doing designing and he or she can produce at least 12 pieces, quality pieces, they can get the opportunity to showcase. So it doesn't matter your age if you want to showcase, because the opportunity is there. Of course, we have to keep the quality on point because it's a fashion show and we want to get quality work. So, but it's open to anyone who is interested. So if you just thought, hey, I would like to design something, or I'd like to be a designer, Red Runway is an opportunity for you to showcase your work. It mightn't be this year. It might take you a year from now. But as I said, we've been doing Red Runway since 2008. So it's ongoing, and now we're here in Tobago, and we want to make it a full time program in Tobago as well as Trinidad. So we're here now, and we're here to stay.
I absolutely love it. I love it. I love it. I'm looking at your page that was just shown to the viewers. Stepping out of your comfort zone, that is what stood out to me, because there are so many souls, so many people who are desirous, and they may not necessarily have the confidence, and I things that of this nature, initiatives of this nature, is so important, not just for budding artists and developers, designers, models, and such, but just your creativity is allowed to flourish. And I really, really love the fact that I'm going to say it so many times, you probably heard it so many times, but giving, the opportunity to the Tobagonian son and daughter, the Tobagonian space. And this is something that we really wanted to highlight. When I heard that you were going to be on the show today, I said, well, yeah, let's talk fashion, let's talk inclusion, let's talk bringing people out of their comfort zone, getting involved in fashion. There is still, do you meet persons that still have, that little bit of taboo about fashion, where you have to be a certain size or a certain image? Did you ever come across that kind of expression or person in your travels or your years in the fashion industry?
Well, I can guarantee that viewers at the moment have already created a stigma that this whole red runway and modeling, right now, red runway was created for inclusion. So when we started our program, it stated anyone can join any size, any age. So there was no size criteria, no height criteria, because as I said, it's a program built to build up confidence. So no one who might have a mark on the skin or think they're too short or have a certain size, it has nothing to do with that. Once you join my program and once you join Red Runway, you are taught these skills, you are given the necessary tools to help build yourself up, help you speak better, help you be able to move into a room with more confidence. You learn how to diet and do nutrition. We start exercising program. All this is included in the program. So we start exercising, and it's an all-encompassing program. So we also have things like dance and self-defense as part of the program as well, where basic things like defending yourself, you learn that as well. And the dance is to help you come out of the comfort zone, because to go up on stage and do all that, we have things like drama as part of the program as well too. So it's not about you have to look a certain way. I always tell my trainees, it does not matter what you look like. It matters about your skill and your confidence. So that is what we focus on. So anyone who is interested in joining and building their confidence, they may not even want to be in a fashion show, but they can join the program for all the other, because we have other activities such as art and creativity. So it's not just about modeling, but people always have that stigma, always have modeling, so it's posing and it's half naked things, and it's nothing to do with that. We wear clothes in class. We wear clothes on the day of the fashion show. Nothing to do with anything that is vulgar and so forth. It's a program that helps build people up. So yes, so the stigma is always there once they hear the word modeling, but we try to educate and help persons understand that it's about inclusion and it's about progress.
And I like the fact that you are empowering. It's so important to have positivity. I think there's so many negatives in the world, and positivity is something that we crave. We definitely need it. And I like the fact that you mentioned inclusion. We keep hearing the word inclusion, and it's such a beautiful word. It's such a beautiful terminology, because it's saying that it's not just about modeling. You are being exposed to drama, you're being exposed to art, self-defense you mentioned. And these things help to ground you holistically. And I think you have nailed it. I think you're on the right track with regards to developing a holistic sort of human being. And, we need more persons like you, because, like I said before, there is so much negativity. There is so much stigma. There are so many billboards and magazines and TV shows that tell us how we need to look and how we need to speak and how we need to dress, and basic things. It may seem like a small feat, but it's actually really, really a big deal, especially for our youngsters who are coming up because they are now trying to find an identity. And I think your event, your program is such a wonderful, wonderful addition. Is there anything else you would want to say to the viewers? Leave us with something positive from Kieran Ward. What would Kieran Ward say to the brunch viewers today?
Well, I'm appreciative of the opportunity here, and I know it will take a little time for Tobagonians to get on board. As I said, we already have some persons on. We have 30 students already, and next week I expect more. And I would like it to be something that we have in Tobago permanently in different areas. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, we have it in the north, in the south, in the central. In Tobago, I only have one location so far. But I would like it to be something that we have all around the country. Maybe one branch in Scarborough, one branch in Crown Point at least. And it's something that we're here to stay. And I hope people take the time to join because it's open to everyone. And you can see the benefit of the program by just viewing the page and viewing. Don't have that mentality that it's something not for you. Have an open mind because there's always something a part of the program that will help you build yourself. So yes, thank you for having me, and I look forward to being in Tobago and making progress.
And we thank you. We thank you for this initiative. Thank you for just being positive. It goes a long way. The negatives are so heavy on our society, on our world, and positivity is something that we really, really need to have. And this event speaks to that. So, Kieran, we want to thank you so much for joining us on Brunch. So much love, so much respect, so much blessings in whatever you endeavor to do. On my behalf of myself and the Tobago Updates family, we wish you blessings in your future events and your future endeavors. Okay, and Red Runway is going to be bigger and better every year. You're going to come back stronger as a result of that. So blessings to you, and thank you so much for giving us your
Thank you
time
very
and
much.
coming to speak with us. All right, guys. So we were speaking with Kieran Ward. His event, Red Runway, is gracing Tobago. He's going to be here on Monday. Check out your social tags. Just check out his social tags. Check out what you have to do in terms of registering. It's come one, come all. It's from 18 to 80. You hear what I'm saying? 18 to 80. So there's no excuse. Get out of your comfort zone and come be a part of something that is going to create history on our island of Tobago. We are getting ready to wrap, but guys, just before we do that, let me just take you back really quickly to our trivia question, which was, who was the first Tobagonian central bank governor of Trinidad and Tobago? Who was the first Tobagonian central bank governor of Trinidad and Tobago? And we did have a winner today. Congratulations, Joanne Clark, on your answer, the answer to the question, Victor E. Bruce. Did you guys know that? So it was Victor E. Bruce. So it ties in to the actual building that we have named after the man, Victor E. Bruce, who created history and became the first central bank governor from Tobago. And that was Brunch for today, Wednesday, 9th August. We thank you so much for joining us. Come back with us on Friday. We're going to be having so much more to give you. Money Matters is on. Our culture segment is on. And we need you to come be a part. We have a surprise for you on Friday. So you guys do not want to miss that. And once again, from our family to yours, this was Brunch, a Taste of Tobago. And we will see you on Friday. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye. God bless.